Welcome back to the realest channel on YouTube. I said I wanted to bring more traditional boxing reactions as well as document the crossover scene. I'm going to document the traditional scene a bit more on the channel as well, and I think there's no better way to do it than to start with my division, the cruiserweight division. We recently saw Lawrence Okoli versus Chris Smith for the WBO World Championship, and Smith wins on a majority decision. Very messy fight, very frustrating fight to watch, but we've seen that a few times with Lawrence where he can drag people into these fights that's messy, but he remains effective, and sometimes, well, most of the time, he will get a KO shot which allows you to forget the rest of the fight and how it went. But on this occasion it didn't work, and Billum managed to get a clean knockdown in the fight. It was two knockdowns that were, you know, kind of iffy, but it was based on the clinching and the ref being frustrated, I believe, at the amount of clinching and how active he had to be in the fight, that when, you know, a scuffle happens or Lawrence did touch the canvas, he's more likely to say, nah, I'm counting you. But I got some footage here. We're gonna have a little look at it and just see some of the things that I was talking about there, as well as hear the atmosphere, because the atmosphere was booming in Bournemouth. It was about 7-8 o'clock, because obviously I was working down there. I was thinking, is it gonna fully pack out? Is it gonna fully pack out? And literally as it got dark, you could just see the stands fill up one by one. By the time the main event was there, and all the fireworks are shooting in the air, it was very lively. It was cold. You saw me Harlem shaking on Sky. If you watched the broadcast, it was very cold, but the atmosphere was active. But anyway, you know what time it is. Reaction season. So you see initially, you know, when Lawrence hits, he will grab, and then he kind of pushes Billum back to the ropes. So as he's pushing him, he was leaning on him, kind of pushing him to the ropes. That was a good right hand there from Lawrence, which a lot of people credit to Chris Smith, because a lot of people have taken that same right hand and hit the canvas. A lot of people have taken that same step back right hand and hit the canvas, and Lawrence does hit. I've sparred with him as a teenager, I sparred with him most recently, and he can hit. So for a 10-ounce glove to land, as we see here, in 16 seconds, step back, boom, and for Billum to continue, and he done that repeatedly throughout the fight. You see Billum there was trying to work in the clinch, trying to get some short hooks off, but Lawrence, the way his body is set up, the way his limbs are set up, once he swarms you, it's like, yeah, he really controls your body, and you know, it's hard to do things about it. It requires a lot of knowledge and technique, more so wrestling techniques than boxing. But let's go into the clip again. 27 seconds, good right hand, and there's the hook. It's like as Lawrence was going back, he didn't have any balance, and Billum followed up, continued the attack, landed a good hook, caught him off balance and on the button, which was the only clean knockdown in my opinion of the fight, even though there were two others. And when that, let me pause that for a sec. When that knockdown happened, the eruption. Again, you got to give Smith his credit, because he said he wanted to fight in Bournemouth. He wanted to bring boxing big time to Bournemouth. He done the International Centre where I saw him and Isaac Chamberlain. I know he fought Zhu Zhao there as well, a show that I was supposed to be on. And then third time out there, he's in the Vitality Stadium and it is packed out. So you only can respect that he's putting his city on the map like this, and he's repping his home. So you see Lawrence was holding on after getting up, surviving, weathering the storm. He hated it. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of grabbing. Ref holding, warns him for holding, takes a point off there, and every time a point got taken off, it was like Billum won. It felt like Billum won in there every time he got a point taken off. You could see Billum keeping the heat on there, he's keeping the pressure. Lawrence was just trying to keep him off, and I think he's just how durable Chris is and the punches that Chris was taking, and to still keep marching, it was a lot for Lawrence to deal with. And I feel like the clinching was his way of getting a respite, or to try and stop the pressure. He gets another point taken off here. Crowd goes off again. And here Viddal nearly goes over the ropes. The rope should have been a bit tighter. 2 big guys in there. Then he goes through. I remember seeing that live. It's like he pushed him through the ropes. He's trying to follow up with uppercuts. It was intense, man. It was intense. You know, like this, it's for his world title. At the end of the day, it's for Lawrence's world title. You can feel when things are going wrong. You've had points taken off. Like, things are against you. The crowd's against you. So, you know, little situations like that, you could just see it's like the adrenaline of, now I'm getting you, like, let me just get you whilst I can get you. But, you know, again, the referee obviously says no, you're pushing, chill out. Good right hand through the guard there. Good right hand there as well. And that's the thing when Lawrence was letting, that's another combo I remember seeing live, because I remember I was like, yeah, you know, the shots was being put together. There wasn't no grab in between. Literally just there. He's measuring, you know, and he said there, boom, boom, boom. Good shots, you know, good punches. I think that was one of his best sequences in the fight. Another good right hand. You could see Billen was eating them all night. His mouthpiece even came out on that one, but still, he was determined. See, he went down there. To me, like, it wasn't a clean knockdown. Let me go back again. 2 minutes. 2 minutes 25. So I see it was the hook, and then he's like, he fell. But yeah, again, after just the referee having to deal with so much. Oi, look, that was a clean right hand, and Billen ate it, man. He ate it. Let's go back there. 237. Boom. That's why I was like, I was getting excited at points. I was getting listen, when these guys were fighting, when the fists were flying, no one can say it didn't have you engaged. Like, it had you engaged, because they're both throwing bombs. Do you know what I mean? Both guys weren't throwing with reservation. They were throwing to damage and put a hurting on whenever they weren't in a clinch. So there was times where Rums is recording me. You can see me getting excited. I know some people might be thinking, what's this guy getting excited for? It's just bear hugging. But no, when there was bangs flying, it was the entertaining fight. Like, these two as a matchup has the potential to be a much better fight than the one that we saw here. So we might see that in a rematch. Here's Lawrence trying to do an onslaught, let some shots off. But then again, it's a lot of pushing and corralling. Another big right hand that Billen ate, and follows up with his own off the ropes. Shifts his way out. And that, you know what, alright, you know what, seeing that from that angle, I would say that is more knockdown than the previous one. Because he spins out the way here. Lawrence is off balance. He lets the shots go. And then so I'm more, I would say that one's more of a knockdown than the second knockdown. So he went down 3 times. The actual clean hook, the one that I think's Buki, and that one. So it was 3 knockdowns in the fight. But yeah, they both put it all on the line. Ends up being a majority decision. The fight becomes difficult to score because of the deductions, the 10-point must system. But either way, watching the fight with the deductions and the knockdowns, Billen should be the winner, and that he was. When I watch it, regarding myself, of course I believe I can be a world champion. I understand I have a task on June the 16th, and I will have tasks until I reach that level. But no one can tell me, like I tweeted the other day, no one can tell me that I cannot be a world champion, because these guys, as strong as they are, even though they're the top of the division, they've earned it, and they deserve that respect. I don't believe they got more skills than me. I believe I'm the most skillful, and I just need to prove it on the night and talk the most with these, because you can say what you want, you can get as many views as you want. Ultimately, it all boils down to what I'm doing with the hands when I get my dates. So the next date is June the 16th. That's where I make the statement and show people, look, you can see my level, you can see where I'm heading, you can see where I belong. Make sure you tune into Sky Sports. Me and Anise, we run it back. Head to myprotein.com. As you know, discounts are always available. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments. If you want to see some more traditional boxing reactions, let me know in the comments, because I will keep bringing them. And I'm sure we're going to hear a rematch of Okoli and Billam announced very soon. People, it's the end of the video. If you don't know what I do at the end of videos,